The stream will be starting shortly, but while you wait, you can check out our sponsors 8cap, Forex Tester, and Superfunded. You can find the links to them down in the description below.
Coming to you live from our studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is the A1 Trading Daily Show. Whether markets are rising or falling, we're here to keep you up to date with the latest market news. Join us as we trade currencies, commodities, and indices live, Monday through Friday.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another live stream and good morning to you. Thank you for being here with me. We are back in the studio for another day of chart analysis, both technical and fundamental. Hope everybody's doing well. We've got some things I wanted to go over here. It is Friday, so of course, markets always a little bit interesting on Friday as people sort of wrap it up for the week and head off for the weekend. We're going to take a look at some charts here. We're going to see a bit of a recap here with everything that happened this week. We had some notable figures that came out. We had, of course, CPI. We had PPI numbers, both pretty key events. And we also had this morning, we have our last sort of thing that of interest. We have the University of Michigan's consumer sentiment, which we'll take a look at this here. This is financial confidence is a leading indicator of consumer spending, which accounts for a majority of overall economic activity. It surveys 500 consumers, which asks respondents to rate the relative level of current and future economic conditions. So, yes, we are going to be taking a look at some charts. We're going to be seeing if there's any reaction to this this red folder at 10 o'clock. Of course, coming out in about 30 minutes here, and we'll see how this goes in regards to volatility there. So let's take a look here. And we will start with the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 here is sort of up against the upper limits of this resistance zone here. For those of you who are watching the indices, what we notice here is that you've been hitting support, you've been hitting resistance, and neither has been able to sort of solidify a win, if you will, at these levels, right? So we've come up to the upper limits. We can't seem to find a breakout. And then, of course, the opposite happens. We come down to a lower level of support, and we're unable to break that. So the bulls and bears are kind of stuck here. Now, I want to also look ahead for next week. There's not a lot on the table, I don't think, for next week. Let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure we have a pretty light next week. Yep, we've got, in terms of red folders, we have on Monday, the Empire State Manufacturing Index. You have CPI here for Canada, which could be potentially interesting for CAD pair traders. We have retail sales next week. We have unemployment change in the for the Australian economy. You have unemployment claims, of course, on Thursday, and then you have a Fed chair Powell speaking. That's probably going to be the more interesting thing of the week, due to participate in a panel discussion titled "Perspectives on Monetary Policy" at research conference in Washington, D.C. Okay, there you go. So a couple things that could be market moving in the future. Someone said they need an A1 t-shirt. Yeah, they are pretty sweet. I'm not going to lie. We got these several years ago, and we need to get some more of them because they're actually very comfortable. I am the only one, by the way, today in the physical office. We're doing a half day. Some of you guys remember we did that event on a Saturday here recently. For some of you guys were even there. We had some people come to the event to participate. My staff has taken a half day here today, and I'm the only one in office, just because, again, they came out for that Saturday and worked their butt off to put on that event. They did a great job. So let's see. What about the dollar? Let's take a look at the dollar here. Dollar upper limits here being tested at 102.2. We commented on this yesterday. It seems like the dollar is yet again just still stuck in this range. The question will be, will there be anything perhaps next week, retail sales, possibly this consumer, the consumer confidence number that we have today? Will these events potentially give us enough strength to either break out, or are we just going to stay stuck in this range with the dollar? That's going to be the interesting thing. Now, I also want to recap just real quick in terms of numbers here this week. We had PPI and CPI both cooling, right? And in my opinion, sort of a headwind for the dollar in some cases. Others might argue that this is not enough, that it's not impressive enough, and that inflation is still very, very sticky and stuck and not going anywhere. It sort of just depends who you're asking. But for me, the trend still seems to be on the way in the right direction with inflation. And so in my opinion, as we near levels like this is more of a sell zone for me when looking at the dollar. So let's take a look at some individual pairs. We'll take a look at the euro here, however, which would disagree with me. You can see, we'll start fresh on this chart. You can see, again, key level of support being broken here. What was a sort of a stronghold for bulls, right? Really strong rally here, sizable rally here, broke out here to the downside. If you're looking at the euro from a technical perspective does not look very good, in my opinion. It looks like it has more downside to go. Now, of course, you can see we've already extended pretty good here. I wouldn't necessarily be playing at this area, right? But that idea of a possible pullback into that same level of support that we're talking about could now act as potential resistance, right? So we're looking at this on a 4-hour chart. So this is more of a swing trade, probably an idea going into next week, something to be thinking about. But yeah, we're looking at this as a possible pullback play. Speaking of ideas, I know a lot of you guys are not already inside of our Discord channel. If you guys would like to join our Discord channel, let me just show you what that looks like real quick. So when I take trades, I share every single trade I take in our Discord server. So we offer a trade alerts signals service where you can see all the trades that are being taken by myself and by my team, Frank and Ivan here. We're all sharing what we're doing here. So I took a gold trade earlier this week. I made some money on the first trade and took a small loss on the second trade. So that was what I was trading this week, was mostly on the gold market. And so I don't have any trades open right now. I am looking today. I'm not opposed to opening a trade if I can find something, or just waiting until Monday. But point is, every trade that I take gets shared inside of the Discord channel. And if you're not inside of the Discord channel, there are some options available. So if you want to ask about our Discord, click this link. And people are on the line right now. We've got a couple support reps who can help you out if you're interested in getting access to the Discord. We have a premium Discord server available. And if you want access to that, click that link that just got dropped in the chat. It's going to take you to a live chat where you can have a conversation with one of my staff members here who can help you get a membership if you're interested in one. Or you can ask them about the free Discord. If you click that link and ask them about the free Discord channel, they'll at least tell you a little bit about how you can get into this for free. So click that right there. How about your Bitcoin position? I have a longer term position on Bitcoin. It is not really a trade. It's more of a, a longer term hold. Though short term, it's looking a little bit like a struggle bus, if you will, right? You can see you've got the price breaking to the downside here this morning. It does look like it may dig deeper and pull back more. In fact, for me, as like a longer term position, I would actually not mind this at all. If it does come down to, levels like 24,000, I'd be interested in possibly picking up another small position on Bitcoin. So that is where I'm at with the Bitcoin market right now. So yeah, let's see. What else do we have in terms of markets to watch? Let's go take a look at that gold chart here. So here's gold off of the daily. I want to narrow down into the 4-hour chart. So I am still bullish on gold, and I want to show you this. So gold, let me make sure that I have the most latest data here on the Edge Finder. So gold is still one of our stronger buys here out on the Edge Finder. So let's see. There we go. So the Edge Finder is it's our market scanning software. What it does is it takes into consideration several categories: interest rates, inflation, unemployment numbers, seasonal trends, retail sentiment. It takes all these things into account, and then it punches out a bias for each particular asset. Right. So if we're taking a look at gold, for example, right, we get a buy bias. Why is that? Well, COT data shows bullishness from institutional traders on gold. Retail sentiment gives us nothing because there's not really strong confirmations there. Seasonal trends may suggest that in the month of May, we see positive expectancy on the gold price. Historically speaking, trend reading is to the upside, GDP growth and inflation readings being very hot, still very bullish for gold in my view. That makes a lot of sense. So we're still bullish on gold and watching it for pullbacks. So when I look at gold, the question is, where is that pullback? Well, you might be able to catch a retest here. I didn't see this morning as I was sleeping at the time this occurred, but price pulled back down to 2004, 2005. My previous entry was right here. I took a trade there, made some money on the way up, closed out for a trailing stop there, and then tried to catch another one. Unfortunately, that was my loss. I took a very small loss. And now the question is, can I re-enter gold again? Well, I actually do like it long. So if it doubles back into this 2004 area, I'm interested in trying again on another long side trade. Now, I might not get it today. Might need to wait until Monday, but it's one that I'm watching. Does COT data show banks' current positions or their pending orders? It shows current positions. So current positions will show you, they will show you the Tuesday's data on Friday. So we get the data that we're going to get today is Friday. We'll get Friday information gets dropped, but Tuesday is the latest that it was filed. So yes. Yeah, so I like the idea of buying gold on a pullback. If we do get a retracement into this area, I'll be watching it for a possible pickup on that. In terms of the NASDAQ, the NAS 100, for those of you who are watching it, man, it is just a bull train right now. It's interesting because, you know, you have the other ones sort of lagging behind. If you take a look at the S&P 500, it's lagging behind the NASDAQ counterpart. Part of the reason here is that the NASDAQ is very tech heavy. And the NASDAQ has been performing so well because you have several key names flying high. Google, which is a stock that I own. So let me see, I'll pull up my Google position. Google is the biggest single stock that I own in my portfolio. And it had a really good couple days here. Now, Google I've held for a number of years now, so this is a long-term position for me. But Google pulling the NASDAQ up makes a lot of sense, right? So I've been holding Google for a while, and this is one of the bigger stock positions in my my account. But Google, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, these names are pulling the NASDAQ much higher, much faster, right? So it's very interesting. Actually, cool shirt. Thank you. We're getting lots of compliments on the shirt today. Appreciate all that, all the support, guys. That's very kind of you. We got this shirt. We made them several years ago, and I don't even know. We might still have them for sale somewhere on the YouTube. I don't even know if that is still there. I might have taken that down. But if anybody wants A1 Trading shirts, maybe we'll hand them out at future events or something like that. That would be really cool. Anyways, yeah, NASDAQ thoughts. Well, if it pulls back, I'm interested. If we get a move back down to 13,280, I will probably be picking that up myself, especially, you know, we're probably going to be next week if you get a pullback there. One thing I thought was very interesting, guys, was the silver price sell-off that we saw. Not only did silver sell off, it sold off very aggressively compared to the gold market. And this is part of the reason why I'm I'm being cautious a little bit with my metals bullishness, right? This concept, price breaking through this is a bit of a red flag for the metals market, right? Silver being able to just break right through this level of support is kind of a little bit of a concern there for me, in my opinion. So we'll have to watch out for that. Now, speaking of, we spoke about Bitcoin here just a second ago. Let me also take a quick moment to remind you guys, in case you have not already, we're doing a $500 Bitcoin giveaway. And if you guys are not already in the giveaway, it is free to join. There are no strings attached. It's very simple to join. In case you have not already, here's how you can join. We're going to drop a link in the chat. All you have to do to join, click that link and just message in to our support center and let them know you want to join the giveaway. It takes 2 seconds. Click this link right there, join the giveaway, and good luck to you. We're going to be handing that out. We're going to be giving out $500 in Bitcoin. At the end of the month, start of June, we'll be giving out $500 in Bitcoin. So enter for a chance to win there. Yeah. So let's see, what else are we looking at? I want to look at the watch list here, see if I can find anything there. We'll go through what's going on here. And also, so what I'm looking at here, this is the watch list page. And if you don't know what the watch list page is, again, it's taking all the different assets that we use on the Edge Finder to find confluence in our trading and then giving us ideas, right? So you've got like the yen pairs. So if you're watching yen pairs right now, euro yen, the favorite has been Swiss yen. So let's go look and see what's been going on with Swiss yen and pound yen. These are the 2 yen favorites on the Edge Finder. So if we go look at pound yen, so pound yen has been a bullish signal for a little while here. Yeah, it continues to be. And this is really interesting. So you've got pound yen. Look at how strong this thing has been. This thing has been killing it. Pulling back recently, we've had a little bit of trouble. But despite this, other yen pairs are getting much more beat up than it seems in the pound yen. So it's interesting to watch this one today. Pound yen it has tagged a level of support. It seems like it wants to be strong in this area. We'll watch to see how that plays out next week. Not my favorite chart, to be honest, though. I just don't love the way it seems on the 4-hour chart. When you zoom in a little bit here, it's just kind of stuck in a range. I would be very interested in pound yen if it breaks this structure. So if we get something like this, if we get, next week, if you get a drive higher and a breakout, I'm much more interested in trading, break and retest momentum moves than anything else. Gold, of course, still up there. Dollar yen, Swiss yen. Let's look on the sell side here. Oh, and look, you've got Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin is officially on the Edge Finder. That is a secret that has been leaked here this morning, it seems. Bitcoin is coming to the Edge Finder. It is very, very exciting. And let's see. Oh, it's on the Edge Finder. This was supposed to be a secret announcement. So pretend you guys didn't see that. Bitcoin is coming to the Edge Finder. That's the truth. But we'll go into that later on. For the crypto traders, get ready. The Edge Finder is leveling up yet again. So it's pretty cool to see that come into life. Let's see. So EURUSD gets a sell rating, and that does catch my eye because I know I like the chart on the euro. We talked about the euro earlier. So this is a trade setup definitely for me for next week. On the currency trading side, I like euro dollar shorts, especially if we get that pullback into resistance, right? This is a really clean setup, I would say, because what you've got here is you've got a broken level of support. So that fresh concept of, hey, we broke out pretty strong. Any retest into that area, I think sellers are going to be interested to try and continue this move. So I like euro dollar short. Pies J says, I saw nothing. That's right. Nobody saw it. Nobody saw that Bitcoin got added to the Edge Finder. We should go look at it, though. Let's just see. I haven't. Frank and Giles have been putting in a lot of work, our developer team. I've been helping a little bit, but still completing. We have not finished everything, but we're very close here on Bitcoin. And I wasn't supposed to talk about it, but now I got curious, just like probably some of you guys as well. So Bitcoin getting a sell rating here right now. Very interesting. So what it's doing is just like everything else, it's taking into account all the things that we look at. COT data. We do have COT data. We've pulled this. We've got it set up. It is working. Bitcoin right now, pretty 50-50, so not a very interesting example. So we don't get a lot of bias on the COT data side. But retail sentiment, look at this. Retail crowd very much buying Bitcoin right now. And then you have seasonal trends. The month of May, slightly bearish. Trend reading is definitely to the downside, right? GDP growth, inflation, how would those impact Bitcoin? Oh, well, actually pretty substantially, in the sense that Bitcoin itself is considered sort of to be a risk asset, right? So it tends to do well when other areas like the stock market tends to do well. As much as crypto Super Bowls would not like to admit that, the truth is Bitcoin tends to do well in a low interest rate environment, in a healthy economy environment, similar to like stock market stuff, right? So yeah, Bitcoin currently on the sell side of the Edge Finder. So I thought that was very interesting. Yeah. So yeah, the Bitcoin chart is officially there. We spent a couple weeks working on this, and it is exciting to see it on there. I don't really actively trade Bitcoin, but I know that a lot of traders do. Like a lot of traders really like to trade their active Bitcoin stuff. So we build tools for traders. That's what we do. So if we have a crowd favorite, even if it's not my favorite, it's still meant to be, it's not just my tool. It's sort of a community-led tool. Could you have a look at Euro Yen? Sure, let's look at Euro Yen. So Euro Yen has been getting pretty beat up. And if I'm being honest, the structure here looks very bearish. On the daily chart, it's a bit of a different story, right? You've had this really strong upward trend, but I think you have to be a little bit concerned here. If you're looking at Euro Yen, where has the momentum gone? What happened to our beautiful upward trend that we had, right? We had all of the buyers coming in every single chance that a dip presented itself. And now we saw the dip come in. Buyers tried, but buyers failed. So in my opinion, Euro Yen looks a little bit sketchy. Despite the Edge Finder overall, the indicators that it uses sort of pointing bullish, I don't like the chart. And so here's the thing. One thing you guys need to know about the Edge Finder is the Edge Finder is, first of all, it's not a holy grail. We're not here selling dreams, right? This is a data visualization tool that brings you lots of different data to your trading. It's not going to do absolutely everything for you. If you're looking for something that gives you magic signals, you're in the wrong industry, because this stuff is very hard and it's not easy to, there is no magical signals. It's all about risk to reward. It's all about stacking your probabilities, so on and so forth. But when we talk about Euro Yen, so even though the Euro Yen is showing up as a possible buy on the Edge Finder, it's then up to myself and anybody using the Edge Finder to go do the technical analysis and decide if there is actually indeed a trade that you want to take. Now, does this mean that I'm going to be going long Euro Yen when it's trending down? No, I'm going to probably avoid this trade. However, conditions could be favorable in the case that we have a breakout. And this is how we use the Edge Finder. So we have confluence to the upside in terms of some of the metrics that we were looking at. So let's go back for this in a second. Euro Yen, right? COT data pointing bullish. You have seasonal trends pointing bullish. The trend still slightly to the upside on the higher time frames, holding on to a dream there. GDP growth to points bullish on this cross, and interest rates, of course, favor the euro over the Japanese negative interest rate. So we take a look all over the board there, and then what we are left with was, okay, well, it looks like the indicators that we're paying attention to might be bullish, but the chart does not look very healthy. So what do? Well, what I'd be looking for personally, I'm looking for breakouts and retest opportunities. Breakouts, retest opportunities. I'm looking for this chart to present a technical setup that matches up with my fundamental and sentiment bias that I've derived from the Edge Finder. Hopefully that makes sense. Type yes in the chat if that makes sense to you. The concept there is, again, we're using multiple pillars of analysis: fundamentals, sentiment, and technicals, but we're waiting for all of them to agree, right? They have to agree. If one of these, for example, in this case, technicals look bearish, if they disagree, I'm not taking any trades, right? So that's how I'm trading. That's how I'm looking for setups. When I find a setup, that is exactly how I'm doing it. So that's the way we approach that. So let's see if we can find anything else. So again, anything else? Euro dollar, again, probably a top sell setup for me, and gold, probably a top buy setup for me. So I mentioned, let's go back to gold. A lot of you guys love trading gold just like I do. I'm looking for a pullback on gold. If we can get it at this 2005 mark, I love it long. Now, this is kind of a range bound trade. If I'm being completely honest, what I don't love about this technically is I'm not afraid to trade ranges as long as the range is still sort of in an overall trend. I would say this daily chart still looks really trendy to the upside. Yes, we've hit up against a resistance point, but I think that fundamental factors could drive this thing to new highs. I'm envisioning, and this is my opinion, I think that in this year, we could see gold prices hit 2,200. Now, that's a tossed out there forecast. That's a prediction. I don't trade based purely off predictions. I trade off of momentum. I trade off of indicators that are showing me, and I react. So my concept with 2,200 is I just think I'm speculating. I know that it's sort of just a possibility. It's an educated guess, and I could be wrong. But what I'm thinking here is that we have regional banks under a lot of pressure. You have the debt ceiling concerns going on in the United States. You have the dollar, in my opinion, looking very weak as we're on the cusp of potentially pivoting, the Federal Reserve slowing its rate hikes. I think that story continues to play out, and it could relieve some of the pressure that we've seen on gold. All of that points to me to a breakout. And when looking at the technicals, what I would say is very possible is, a break up to 2,100 is our first start, something like this. And then a continuation ultimately up to 2,200, I think is very possible if any of the sort of conditions that I just spoke about become a stronger catalyst. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying I'm betting my entire life that it gets there by the end of the year. I'm not, going on a call option that expires, January 1st and throwing my entire life savings on it. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying I generally think I see a path where we could get to 2,200. And so how am I going to treat that? Well, in the meantime, I'm going to trade my old reliable strategy. I'm looking to buy pullbacks with confluence from the edge finder. As long as this is still printing bullish, I'm going to be looking for opportunities on the technical side. I like pullbacks into 2000. I think 2000 is a potential floor right now for the price of gold. And again, I say all of these things loosely. I'm not dying on my sword with these opinions because again, I think that that's how you lose a lot of money in trading. I think what you do is you have an educated guess. You make a game plan and you react accordingly. If I'm wrong about that, if we start completely falling apart the other direction, am I going to hold on for dear life and just, stubbornly keep buying gold? No, I'm going to react and I'm going to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I was off on this, but I think I see more upside for gold and that's my opinion. And again, I think you have to have that mindset when you're trading, right? So real quick, guys, we are going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from a commercial, and then we're going to come right back, and I'm going to talk about gold. I want to share a little bit more. So check it out right here.
Attention, A1 Trading Show fans. Are you looking to get access to the Edge Finder for free? Our partnered broker 8cap is offering fans of the show 100% free access to our trading software. To get your access, all you have to do is click the link down in the description, sign up with 8cap, deposit $1,000 or more into your personal trading account, and then just let us know and we'll get you hooked up with the Edge Finder. 8cap is a regulated broker, offers many assets to trade, flexible leverage options, and has amazing customer support. Click the link down below to get started, deposit $1,000 or more into your personal trading account, send us a message when you're finished, and we'll get you the Edge Finder for free. Now, back to the A1 Trading Show.
All right, and yes, we are back talking about gold here, and we had a question in the audience. H Ballout says the regional bank crisis is media wanting retailers to panic. It's a joke. Nobody knew Silicon Bank was. It's a small bank in California. There are big concerns for the. So I just want to be that annoying fact checker for a second. The SVB collapse was actually pretty substantial. It was one of the largest collapses in banks that we've ever seen in the United States. And to your point that it's something that could just blow over, if we look at the history books, that just does not hold any water. If we take a look, for example, at KRE, this is the regional banking ETF. This tracks a basket of regional banks. And we go back to the nightmare that was 2008. This same story, the playbook that we have right in front of us, where we have some concerns about regional banks collapsing, is for very good reason. Regional banks collapsing and the consolidation of the banking industry can be a nasty, nasty bottomless fall. At this point, if you had bought regional banks, your money, the ETF, the diversified collection of ETF of banks went down by 70+% in 2008. And it was, again, not just a, if anything, big banks and the economy and the government and all that would not want people to panic about these things. People are sort of concerned about them for very good reason. Banking collapses can be very nasty and people can lose a lot of money. So I think that it is a genuine concern, and it is worth noting rather than just brushing over, because again, people who brushed it over in 2008 lost everything. So it is worth mentioning. It's something to pay attention to. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I think if nothing happens out of it, the fear itself, the concern itself can have upward pressure on gold. This is my point. So again, markets trade on rumors. They don't trade purely off of just what ends up happening. The market is very forward looking. It's trying to figure out what's happening next. And that concern is very, very important. You also have de-dollarization concerns. You have many sort of factors that are, just something that concerns the market. They can spook markets, and markets trade not necessarily just off of what happens. Like I said, markets are fickle. They're emotional. They trade off of things. And if you traded against those, forecasts, you could lose a lot of money, right? So consensus sometimes can be very powerful, even if it's wrong. So that's my point. Anyways, let's keep going. I want to take a quick look. Of course, we'll have more smart money tracker data coming out later today as we get the COT reports dropping. We get Tuesday's data every Friday. That is the way the COT report works. And I want to show you something here. COT data came out as the S&P 500 here, still maintaining a pretty heavy short bias. You've got the CAD and the yen, also pretty short bias. Euro, pretty strong. Gold here, pretty strong. And again, we will get the latest numbers, the up-to-date numbers here shortly after. So if you guys want to try out the Edge Finder, by the way, we do have some people who are handing out trials today. If you guys want to check out our software, if you want to play around with the COT data, if you want to play around with the retail sentiment data, seasonal trends, bank signals, we have all sorts of different indicators that our team has worked really hard to build. If you want to try them out for yourself for free, we're going to drop a link in the chat. You can click this link. It's going to take you to a direct message center where you can ask for a free trial of our software. And if that would be helpful to you, if you want to try it out maybe over the weekend or something, you've got some time here to do so. Click this link, message us, and just ask for an Edge Finder free trial, and they will hook you up with a copy to see if it's a tool that might be useful to you. So there you go. So yes, now guys, we're going to bring in Mr. Kenzo. He is our weekly guest. He comes on the show and helps us figure out the markets together. What's up, Kenzo? How are you?
Great, thanks. And you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. What's going on in markets? What are you paying attention to? Of course, today is Friday, so the markets are, quieting down, I suppose, for the weekend. What are you watching going into next week?
I was paying attention actually on gold since we had like CPI, but I think now actually it was actually, as I think even last week we did talk about this, that it might actually end up pushing to the upside. But CPI was not really that bad. It was not really positive or negative. Actually, it was like 50-50. That's why we saw the market not actually giving us some serious push. But besides that, we have like technical, which shows us that the market can still push, like especially on gold, the market can still push to the upside. And yeah, actually the market, I think the market is still a bit struggling. It's like everyone is still trying to understand what might happen with the FOMC. You see.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, and I think we have, of course, the June meeting. We have we already had the May meeting. So the question will be now with this inflation data that we got this week, does this move the needle in any way? Like, does it change whether or not the Federal Reserve will choose to pause? Will they choose to rate hike? I think a lot of consensus is that they're going to pause here, which will be very interesting to see if they choose not to rate hike any further. I think it's possible that a further rate hike could actually even offer some trouble to the banking sector, which we've already been talking about on the stream. Too many rate hikes could put
Exactly.
pressure there. There's already a lot of struggle, I guess, in that area. So I think that there's a possibility that there may just be a pause. And maybe to your point here on the gold bull side, I am also on that same camp. I think it may offer some room to expand higher. So so gold is what you're watching. Anything else that you're paying attention to?
Yes, I was actually actually I follow like Nasdaq US status, but with those results, they were not really that. They did not actually act like the way we thought. There was not like any aggressive push. It's like CPA was like bit mixed because there was actually it was 50-50. So that's why we see the market trying to push the upside, but at the same time, it's like 50-50. I don't think and now we're going to say maybe it's because of CPI. Now we also have some issues, like we also have, I think they say debt ceiling in your country. Actually,
Yes.
we
Yep.
have like inflation is also really not going anywhere at currently when we check, and that I might disagree that there is a chance actually for them to increase the rates, maybe for the last time, because it doesn't show that it's pushing lower. If you check the CPI, it did not actually push lower. It's just at the same point, which means it's still the same as March, and April is still the same thing. So it means it's not actually going lower, even if it's not going up, but it's still consistent. So it means they still have to increase a little bit, maybe. Plus,
Yeah,
their
it's
meeting actually it was a bit confusing because we heard that they were not actually trying to say anything about cutting the rates.
Yeah, it's very much a sort of a mixed opinion. I think that there is a case to be made for both sides. Partially, probably one of the good reasons, Kenzo, for why the market has been very choppy, especially a lot of the indices. Like if you look at the S&P, for example, it's just been back and forth the whole time, right? You've got the market trying to figure out what is so front and center, which is the Federal Reserve's next move, and on one hand, you
Mm.
do have concerns about breaking things or causing damage that is can be very, very lasting if you raise too quickly or too far. But then at the same time, you have inflation, like you mentioned, core not really moving that much. We had core CPI come out, and year over year, I believe it barely ticked down,
Yeah,
by 0.1%. So it is it seems like a very sticky problem, and the question will be, is it better to just sort of throw one more rate hike in there, see if it does something, and hope that it doesn't break anything? That'll be a curious
I
thing.
think I think that might be their next move because if you check, there was some few banks actually which they're trying to bounce back actually this week. That maybe might push them to increase the rates. You
Yeah.
see,
Yeah. No.
because
No.
it seems like they now trying to bounce back, but at the same time increasing the rates still hurts like everyone actually in the economy. So it's actually 50-50. Also the recession is around the corner, so there is so much stuff actually going on. For now, I think it's much better not to focus much on the news. You might end up not even trading.
Yeah, it is incredibly tricky time, I would say, from a
Mm.
fundamentalist perspective, and also for a technical side, right? Because a lot of times, what happens with that is when you get mixed sentiment like this, you get choppy charts, you get tough to trade
Mm.
markets. So we have Ivan in the back room. Maybe we can bring Ivan in for a moment here. Say hello to Mr. Ivan. So I'll. What's up, Ivan? How are you?
I'm all right. I went for the same haircut as usually.
Oh, did you basically roll out of bed and turn on the stream? I'm at the office today by myself. As
Oh,
my
okay. So
yeah, I
nobody
gave
did your hair.
my team is taking a half day because we did that event in person, and so it was on a Saturday. So I gave them that extra day just to just to take it easy. So, Kenzo, I don't know if you have met Ivan. Ivan, you guys have both been on the channel, but yeah, you guys are both awesome contributors. So, Ivan wanted to pop in here and say hello.
How are
Yeah.
you, man?
I'm pretty good. And you?
No, I'm great. I'm great. I'm just watching the chat.
Yeah, I was going to say, so I have to actually hop out here. And Ivan, you're welcome to stick around if you want to. You and Kenzo could go through some charts together if you're comfortable with that. I have to hop out because I'm getting on a podcast for Oanda currently. So yeah, I've got about 5 minutes here. So with that said, Ivan, Kenzo, let's just try it. You guys go toss some charts around, get to know each other, be nice to each other, and have a great stream.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Thank you.
Let's try to do that. Okay, so I can see on the screen, it's like they already shared my chart. So what we can do here is, as I actually do indices, so I'll just do NASDAQ and US 30. Then maybe you can continue with something. I don't know if maybe you do the currency pairs or the indices.
I will do some New Zealand. That's why I was here. So
Okay.
there are people asking for it. That's all. So, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
You
That's great.
can go
So,
through
that's great.
indices.
So, okay, that's great. So yeah, good day everyone. I hope everyone is doing great. It's Friday, so let's see what's really happening on NASDAQ. As you know, we actually start with NASDAQ on a 4-hour time frame. Obviously, you can easily see that the market is still actually on an uptrend. But it seems like we reached an area where we can call actually a resistance. You can see this area. But going back here, you can easily see that we are actually riding this uptrend. So we see that the market has been respecting this support area. So now it seems like the market is now actually creating some aggressive push to the upside. But where we are now, it's actually the highest area that we have currently. So, and I like the fact that the market broke out of this area. So there is a chance for the market to respect this support area before pushing up. We see that the market is pushing lower for now. And if let me just go to a bit smaller time frame, you can see that the market did touch actually this area on 1 hour time frame. You can easily see that yes, the market actually did touch this area after the breakout. Now maybe the market might come back around this area again before pushing up. If the market doesn't really reach this support area, it means there is a chance for the market to do what? To break this resistance and push to the upside. And if maybe that happens, we're going to take a buy. But since we are actually on a bullish momentum, we're not going to actually just jump. We can either wait for the market to reach this area before we take a buy, or maybe the market to break this area before we take any sort of a buy position. So let me push to the next one, which is US 30. So let's do this on a 4 hours time frame just to understand what's really happening, or maybe a daily time frame will make things way too easier for us. So on a daily time frame, before we go on a smaller time frame, I just want to show you what's really happening here. You can easily see that we have a very simple, straightforward resistance, which means actually around where we are now, we expect the market to do what? To push lower, because every time when the market reaches this area, it was pushing lower. So when we go where we are now, at least we now understand that the market is coming from this stronger resistance. So there is a room for the market to do what? To push lower, especially when some banks in the US are actually struggling, even though maybe this week they were trying to bounce back. But I think that might actually take a long way, you see. So since the market touched our resistance here, we can easily see that now the market is trying to do what? To respect that area by pushing lower. But since the market doesn't really want to just push lower aggressively like that, we easily see that the market is now creating a ranging move. You can see the market is just consolidating around this area, which means the market actually is It's actually the market is still deciding which direction to take. But on this situation here, I think that the market will just continue with this downtrend. For where we are now, I think the market we can just wait for the market to reach our resistance first. You can see we have a resistance here before the market pushes to the lowest side. For now, we just need to wait. It's Friday. Let's relax. Let's not even try to fight the market. So, Ivan, you can try to take over. I think I'm done with US 30. You can try to check what's really happening on your side. I don't know if maybe I have to stop this sharing screen, or you can also do it on your side.
Don't worry. No, also the thing is that what you asked about, or you pointed out, where I don't know if it was clear, but I'm just trying to be funny here. But so you said if price comes back down to 13,300 level ish, what kind of confirmation are you looking for in that area?
We're talking about US 30. So Nasdaq.
No, in Nasdaq. This is Nasdaq. It was the previous period.
Okay, let me go back there. So yeah, we are here now. I don't know if maybe you can see my screen.
2 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, it's because we had a previous area which the market was respecting. Let me just go on 1 hour. Maybe we can see that clearly. So this area, it was respected. The market created something around this area for quite some time. So that area, we mark that zone as a respected zone, which we can end up calling it a resistance. So since the market broke out, the market did not actually, since the market was a bit stronger, the market broke out of this area to show us that, you know what, guys, I'm actually on a bullish momentum. Then the market broke out of that, but the market came back and retest. This is the first clue that the market is actually respecting that zone. Again, it seems like the market is trying to come back around that area again. So we can say, okay, it means that this area, it's valid that the market can come here and start to push up again. Another reason is, if we go back maybe on a 4 hours time frame, we can easily see that the market is actually on a bullish momentum, and which means there is enough room for the market to keep pushing up. Yes, it's possible that the market can still push lower here, but what we see with the structure, this area might be respected as a support area. But if we go on 1 hour, I saw another structure. Maybe we can also try to use that. We can try to use that structure, but I don't think maybe it's going to be valid. I saw something like this. I see something like this, sorry. Something like that. So let me just try to draw a proper line. That might also mean something, but I will just use a dotted line, because as we are actually on an uptrend, our job is to continue with the trend, with the uptrend. So this area might be respected. You see, so actually that now it's actually our support area. So there is a room for the market to touch this area before pushing to the upside. Actually, those were my reasons why I say maybe the market might bounce back here.
So you said earlier that you were looking for a pullback in that area, and you said that you would look for a buy. What would your buy reasons be if price comes down to 1350? 1320.
What the reasons? My buy reasons, or
yeah, your buy reasons. Yeah.
Come again? Oh yeah. Yeah, as I think, as I explained, this area seems to be, obviously, it's respected. And we also see the market coming back and bouncing back there. So what we can do is, since this area is respected, we expect the market to come back here and repeat the same thing. So that actually, because the market might be like, I don't think the market might actually break this area easily. Yes, there is a chance for the market to break and still push lower, but with this resistance, which is going to be our support, I think the market can still respect that. But I'm not just going to jump on the market here. What I'm going to do is I will just maybe use a buy pending order once the market is trying to bounce back. Once the market is trying to bounce back from this support area, it's where I can say, yes, my order will be ready. Why I say a buy? Because this area shows that it's where the market is. Actually, the market respects this zone. Once the market bounces back, if the market bounces back, it will find my order here. But that order will be actually a pending order. If maybe the market doesn't really respect this area, the market obviously might push to the lower side. So, but the reason why we say we think about buying, is because the market is actually on a bullish momentum, and we expect the market to keep continuing with the trend. You see.
Okay, cool. I just want to clarify that because yeah, that's all. Great. Because we all have different rules of engagement. If I were to buy there, I would just put a limit order on and see how things kind of go. Some people use reversals or some whatever on smaller time frames. So that's just one clarification, because I haven't seen your videos before, your strategy before, so that's all. So what I want to have a clarifications on was from earlier today. I had for those who are in the VIP mentorship on part of A1, we had a meeting this morning, and I said if we break or challenge 175, and we had a meeting around this time, I would say that would make me again looking for buys, and as we are speaking, we are now challenging those highs. So what this means, it just means that this is me getting ready for Monday, meaning any pullback would be appreciated on Monday. Can use the fib if you really want to use fib, so around between 38 and 61, which becomes either that line or that line if you want to do that, or which I do use pivot point, which is just previous high, low, and close of the previous period, which basically points out basically the same levels. So right now, as Euro New Zealand is going higher, I am then looking for the pullback and either at 173.50 or 174.20.10. So that would be updated in Discord if I do take a trade here. So that goes back to anything about New Zealand. That also comes back down to the Australian New Zealand dollar, coming back to that resistance, coming back down to that support, which is clearly not happening at the moment. Though this is a bit more range bound, and it's not necessarily like woohoo, fantastic trade, but why not? Cincinnati is still there until 17th, which is Wednesday next week. So we still have some time to get that one in. But if market does go lower, that will make me look for a buy. And then same thing on British pound New Zealand dollar. But that one has just gone absolutely bonkers. So that one is gone. So, if it does decide to come back, next week, kind of. But yeah. So those are the three things I'm looking for next week. So what I want to see, which I have seen, is this reversal. But the most biggest point here is that it is challenging the previous high. And when it does do that, then that's when I can look for the pullback. So it's kind of validating itself as we speak. So hopefully by next week it's going to come back. And if it doesn't, adios. Skyrocket. Rocket ship. That's what I call it. Somebody asked me about a euro. I'm going to do that for 2 milliseconds, by the way. It's bearish. As I said, I don't know when I said that. I said it this morning at least on the A1. So pull back to 109.5 or something like that on Monday would be great. But if you don't get it, it's never a bad thing. Just wait for a better price. Genzo, what are you looking at? Other than
I'm
you're
still
just looking, yeah, sorry.
I'm still on gold, so seems to be trying to push lower. But I still believe that maybe we can still see a very nice push to the upside, as the market is actually showing us that we are actually on a bullish momentum. So around this area, you can see that we have a very nice structure that is supporting this support area. So there is a nice push to the upside. So we are actually already in a very nice profit. We did actually enter around this area. So yeah, I think we are still actually bullish. If maybe it pushes lower, it does push very lower very quick. Let's push straight to that. Yeah, I'm still expecting a very nice actually push. I think maybe there is a room for the market to still reach maybe around this area, around like 20, 30, 34, 35, around that area. But I think besides that, we have a confident actually holding the trades as we are actually not far from the support. And I think maybe that is pushing the market to still push the upside. You see, that reversal to me, I think this reversal that we had here, it will give another room actually for gold to still push to the upside. So, yeah, I'm still holding that. The other one, I can check maybe USD JPY. We did actually
Just
also
one
check
thought or one
USD
question
JPY.
there though about gold. Because you mentioned your target being 2040. 2040, somewhere around there, or 2034. In my
Yeah.
little analysis is that since we had the big spike higher to 2070, 2080, and then all the way back down to 2000, is that volatile move up and down, does that concern you in any ways in terms of heightened volatility or the lack of continuation in the bullish trend short term, at least, before taking that trade at around 2000?
As on my side, the reasoning will be, if let me just remove this, we have a very nice actually support around this area. It was actually a resistance. Let me just throw with this. It was a resistance from this area. So once the market pushes above this area, it showed us that actually I'm actually on serious bullish momentum. You can see that around this area. Then again, before reaching this area, let me remove this. Before reaching where we are now, the market came back again and bounced back around this area, and we see the market pushing up again. So today we can say the market came actually around the same level where the market used to bounce back. Sorry, where the market used to respect, and it's touching that area, and it's also doing the same thing, pushing to the upside. But since we deal with gold, we know that there is always sort of rejections. There's long weeks, there's everything. But at the end of the day, I like the fact that it will end up respecting what we have. So if you look at the weeks here, they're all over the place. But at the same time, the market will actually continue with that. So what Mike, we had a confidence because this was the zone that we already marked from a few weeks ago. So once we see the market pushing from there, obviously it shows us that, okay, this is an area where everyone was looking and it's respecting, and gold is respecting that. So I'm expecting another push maybe to the upside. So to reach this area, I'm just actually gauging with the last high that we have. I think if it reaches there, I will just get out. If it pushes up again, I will just wait maybe for a reversal. Maybe I will get in later on. You see.
Yeah. So
But
the
besides that,
reason, yeah.
also,
Yeah.
besides that, also we also have a respected support, which is still showing us that is still actually very active and is still pushing the market to the upside actually.
So the reason for mentioning 2014 or your target is because that, in my mind, would make us at least have a continuation of bullish momentum, and with where your entry is. I'm not gonna argue with your entry, but what that to me shows is lack of, at least short term. So this one can still go higher, that doesn't matter, but short term for me, having a double or 3 times the bounce on this level is quite
Yes.
okay. But I just wanted to continue higher low,
Yes.
so
Yes.
that I always, because when gold starts to weaken or lack of trending, we have all tried that
It
before.
reverses.
It
Yeah,
takes
I know. Mostly it will give you clues if things are no longer going like before. Then one way or another, it might break that support. It's possible for it to break that support and start to go
yeah,
lower.
by
So
all
the
means.
only reason that we have actually is just because it was respecting that support, and with that bounce back, actually, it showed us okay, we still have a room for momentum to push the upside. But since it's pushing lower, we'll wait and see if maybe it's going to break this support or not. If it breaks that, then we can actually get out and say maybe it's time to look for a sell.
Somebody asked earlier about the Michigan survey, consumer confidence sentiment, and it's coming in at 57.7, way less than expectations. That should strengthen the dollar. So for those who said that gold would fall, I guess you guys are pretty right about that. Then who was it? The king, Your Honor. GU, what's the deal here? So GU is a bit of a trickier one because I am fundamentally bullish on it because of the high interest rate, high inflation. They should continue to increase interest because of the high inflation, where you have a dollar on the side peaking inflation, maybe peaking, maybe another hike. So generally, this one should go higher overall. I would argue that we are seeing some weakness with the dollar strength coming in now from the Michigan sentiment report. This might turn a bit lower, but if you are to sell it, I wouldn't short it yet because it's still, and as much as we have seen before, it's still much an uptrend. It's still bullish. So this is kind of okay place to look for a buy or look for a bounce. But if you're selling, at least you need to break 24.36, this previous low here, before you then look for a resistance, either 25, 25.50, maybe up to 126 again before shorting. So this one is very early for shorts, and buys looks a bit what do I call it? Not risky, but it has to show strength to the upside before I even go higher on it. I don't like that gold made a lower high earlier, like Ivan FX, but like Kenzo cleanliness. So Kenzo, are you more focused on the higher time frames, which shows clear, which is clear technically? That was a question for you, by the way.
Let me check.
From
Let me
Cisco.
check.
Okay, cool. The question is: are you more focused on the higher time
I
frames
don't
on
see
gold
that.
for technical clearness?
I don't really see what's the question, because I don't really see that on my side.
the question is, are you more focused on higher time frame on gold to have a to have it more clarity on technicals?
Yes, yes. Actually, I focus on not actually bigger time frame, like maybe daily. So I just check, or like 4 hours time frame. Actually, it helps me actually to get to understand where the market is going, also the trend. So if the trend like USD, I know you were checking GBP/USD, me, it still shows me that the market is still very, very, very strong, actually, still respecting our support area. I mean, it's still supporting our uptrend, unless if maybe the market breaks this area, then we might think about selling. So on gold also, I believe that if maybe the market on bigger time frame, let's say daily or 4 hours, it's saying that we are on a uptrend or downtrend, and it's still respecting that. So my decision will be coming from that bigger time frame. If maybe here we see that it's a 4 hours time frame and we are actually pushing to the upside, which is an uptrend, I will go maybe on 1 hour time frame, try to understand that, okay, the market is actually now very close to my support area, and the bigger trend is telling me that we are on an uptrend, which means I'm expecting actually to buy. So what I'm going to do is I'm not just going to jump here. Obviously, it's going to be risky. What again I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually have maybe a buy pending order, which I think you call it maybe a buy limit or something like that. Buy pending order. So if indeed the market will be bouncing back, or if maybe the market will be respecting the support, the market will actually end up bouncing back, actually we will end up taking that trade. If not, it means the market will keep pushing lower and breaking that support area, and then from there we can say, okay, maybe we can wait for a retest before we say the market is going to sell. So yes, a bigger time frame to me, actually, it's everything just to understand where the trend is going, because sometimes we can say we sell on a smaller time frame to find out that on a bigger time frame, that is just a reversal. We might still continue pushing up. You see, so yeah, I bigger time frame to me, it helps me actually with the trend. So because mostly if you don't actually follow those, mostly the way I trade, if I don't follow that, it means this type of a sell, it might look like a downtrend, but to find out that the market at the same time, at the end of the day, the market is still pushing to the upside. You can see the market started from this area, we go into the top. Whether there is a small reversal, but we can easily see that the market is still pushing to the upside. So quite similar to here. Yes, there might be a sort of a stronger reversal, but at the end of the day, the market might still continue pushing to the upside. Quite similar to Nasdaq, to gold, by the way.
All right. I'm going to leave you to it. I wish you a pleasant continuation in your stream.
Okay, yeah. Actually, I think we actually done, because we actually take 30 minutes. So I will just check what pairs should we check, because on my stream here, I don't see actually updated stream comments, or maybe I'm on the wrong one. I don't see any comments, but it's
you
fine.
have used SAR, dollars, South African.
Oh, I see. Oh, now I see USD.
Yeah.
And GBP AUD. Okay, I see
dollar.
that. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Then we can call it a day. So since we were on GBUSD, let me just complete this, and we can go on those pairs. So what's really happening here is, on my bigger time frame, which is 4 hours time frame, we can easily see that yes, the market is actually pushing to the upside. So with this support area here, I believe that there is a chance actually for the market to respect this area. If not, we might see maybe the market breaking out. Then we will actually look maybe for a sell. Since the market is pushing up here, I still believe that maybe the market might push up. So, but don't just jump on the market. A buy pending order might work actually very nice. So a sell pending oil, I don't think it's necessary. Just wait for the market to break. Everything should be clear before maybe you jump on a sell. So let me check USD ZAR. USD ZAR. I don't actually trade USD ZAR, but let me just add that. USD ZAR Forex. So let's check USD ZAR. What's really happening? Whoa, dollar is getting stronger. So on this one, yeah, this one is crazy. Seriously crazy. Okay, the market is actually still on a bullish. So for me to get this one right, I think maybe I should just use a daily time frame just to get a better here. So what I'm going to do is I to try to connect the support area accessible before I even try to draw that. You can see around this area we get something there. We have something there. The market is being actually pushing to the upside. That to me, it's an uptrend. So let's try to get the nice structure. We can even start from where we are now. I think if I start from this area, it's still fine because this is actually a daily time frame. So yeah, I will just do double lines. Yeah, the market is actually flying. The market is going to the moon actually. So from this area, I can change this to a 4 hours time frame just to understand what's really happening. So already we know that the market is actually on a bullish momentum, which means we are looking to do what, to buy. So maybe to get this buy here, unfortunately the market already passed that. You can't do anything there. But I see that the market actually broke out of the structure. Do you see the structure? So I think we can try to draw some structures around that. We can try to draw something from this area. And this zone is where the market actually broke out. Obviously, I think it was clear. Once the market breaks out, you are just going to jump on that buy. For now, even if we say it's a bullish momentum or uptrend, I don't think there is anything we can do. Already it's late. The best thing is to wait actually for the market to reverse. I don't know if the market will reach this area or not, but it's much better to wait for a reversal or the market to create certain structure before we can follow. But for now, I think the market is very high. We can't buy here and we can sell if we don't know what will happen next. So the best way is to wait for a better structure that we can use to say, okay, let's jump on the buy or on the sell. For now, I don't think we can do anything. We have to just relax. So another pair is GBP AUD. Yeah, GBP AUD. Where is GBP AUD? Guys, you trade pairs that I don't actually check. Let me check that. GBP AUD. For me, I don't actually trade minor pairs. I think they have these crazy moves. But yes, you can make something very quick. Also, they have this credits, so that's why I don't really like trading them. So yeah, now we are actually on GBP AUD. So what's really happening here? I think from where we are now, on a daily time frame, I can see that yes, the market was pushing to the upside, but on top here, it seems to be something. I think we see that the market is creating something there. So the market might touch this area and start to push the lower side. So let's go closer there and see if maybe we can get something much better. Let's see. Yeah, it makes sense. But this, I think, is very, very thick. Let's go on 4 hours time frame. Already we know that we have a resistance on top there. So for us to get this entries, we actually know that okay, the market respected our resistance, right? So, but the market was actually coming from this type of a move where actually I think the market broke out of that. So I think the market it's now actually trying to push the lower side since the market touched our resistance. So let me try to get a proper structure that I can say the market broke out. Let me try to get a proper structure. We have to get a proper structure before we say now it's time to sell or to buy. I think maybe this area can do. Let me start from where we are now. I think this makes sense. I think this one will make sense. So we have, it's a 4 hours time frame, by the way. So we have areas that we can connect. We have these areas that we can connect. Yes, we see that. Okay, the market on top there, we have a nice resistance. And the market it seems to be running away from that. But again, the market is pushing up again. So it means around this area, we know that it's a resistance. So we're just waiting actually for the market to get out of this support area. Then we can say we're going to sell. Or if the market breaks this resistance, we can easily say, you know what, it's time for us to do what? So get to look for a bullish momentum. But for now, I think, guys, we're done. So thank you very much, guys. We'll see you actually next week. This is Kenzo Extraord Forex. I hope everyone will smash that subscribe button. So thanks to everyone. Thank you, guys.
Thanks again for watching today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to continue to share free value to our audience through daily videos and articles, keeping you up to date with the latest market coverage. If you enjoy our content, make sure to subscribe for more. And remember, if you open a $1,000 or more trading account with 8cap, you'll receive a free copy of the Edge Finder. Click the link in the description below to find out more. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.